Alright guys, welcome back to CrossFit Big Dane. We've got another installation of a quick tutorial video for you, focusing today on what's technically called the clean deadlift. More specifically, we're focusing on what we refer to as the first and second pull-up, either the deadlift or the snatch. This little drill or movement that I'm going to take you through can be performed with both the clean and the snatch. I'm going to demo with the clean, maybe a quick one with the snatch later. But it's the same fundamental movements, concepts, just demonstrating with the clean right now. It can be done with the snatch later. Alright, so just starting, giving you a point of reference basically. In our drills, we always work our way backwards. So we start in position 1, pull those hips back, knees back to position 2, and then drop our hips, drive those knees forward to position 3. But when you start to actually add weight and do the full clean or the snatch by itself, the bar and the weight is already resting on the ground, so we have to know how to transfer and work forward now, or work backwards from backwards, if you think of it that way. So I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration, run through how to do that. So the first thing you want to know is when you're getting set up, as always, your feet should be hip width apart. On any clean or snatch, the bar should be directly over the base of your toe, so that's right where your shoelace ends. So your shin's not going to be right next to the bar like a traditional deadlift and things like that. You're going to have a little distance out away from that, okay? So, working our way backwards, okay, position 1, we're pulling those knees back to position 2 with the tight arch. And then down in position 3, what we always sometimes miss is we are dropping that butt straight down, driving our knees forward over the bar. All right? My hips are a little higher than my knees, my back is arched, my chest is up. So this same position as we move through this is the same position we want to be directly in when we go walk up to the bar. Okay? So if I'm demonstrating, I'm going to get myself set up here. I have my toe, the base of my toe directly under the barbell. So it's about 6 inches, 4 to 6 inches away. I'm going to get my hook grip set in, and I will pull my butt down into a good position 3. So my knees are forward a bit, my hips are pretty high, my back is arched. From there, pulling in position 2, all I'm doing is focusing on pushing or driving my knees back and out of the way. Okay? And you can segment that out into a couple reps, just pulling back, out of the way, good back. Alright? After position 3, knees are back out of the way, and we want to think of sweeping that bar back into our hip bone or our hip pocket by driving those shoulders back and pushing my hips forward through the bar. Okay, you notice my knees are still unlocked, my chest and my shoulders are behind the bar. It's a good power position to be in right before we really hit the gas, the weight becomes unloaded, and we catch in that front rack position. Alright, so that's one step that often gets overlooked. I see people just kind of grab and do their clean from here, making sure we're getting set up in a good position by pulling those hips down, driving those knees forward, arching that back. Okay? So that same thing can be done, like I mentioned, with the snatch grip. It's exactly the same. Start by working backwards, position 1, down to 2, and when we go down to 3, we're still driving those knees forward. Hips are going to be a little bit lower just because we have a wider grip, but it's the same concept. We start by pulling our knees back out of the way, my chest is over the bar, and then from 2 to 1, position 1, I'm sweeping that bar back into my hip pocket. My knees are unlocked right before I hit the gas. So what it looks like, the clean first, you'll notice that the bar actually makes contact with my hip, the joint and the little muscles right here, okay? That's a good sign of a good second pull. You're getting your weight back. You want to pull that weight back so that the inertia, as it comes unweighted, and you go into your catch position, is going to be back on your heels. Your weight will be back on your heels instead of leaving it out in front, and then we're catching on our toes in a very unstable position. So, some good drills we can do are just some high shrugs, setting up in a good position 3, coming to 2, 1, just getting a high shrug. You can do a high pull as well, and the arms in, pull those knees back, up to 2, shrugging that bar up. And then lastly, I'm just going to do the full clean. I want you to really focus on my hips here. Notice that the bar is actually making contact with my hip joint. Before it becomes airborne. So I'm pulling my knees back, 2, and I'm actually hitting off my thighs before that bar becomes unweighted. Like I said, same thing can be done with the snatch grip. We're just going to be a little bit wider. Big emphasis on making contact with those hips. Some of you guys have been asking about that second pull specifically and how we can really ingrain making contact or making contact with our hips. I got a nice little video that will follow up very shortly with a couple little easy drills that you can do to really be able to feel what that's like with that bar making contact with your hips. That's all we got today. Thanks for stopping by.
Good. How you doing, man? Here you go. Just doing a little tutorial.